What is up, everybody? Yeah, it's a good little intro. Happy Thursday night. What's going on, everybody out there in YouTube land? It is another Into the Void podcast. This is episode, what is it, Rev? What episode?
It's number 5, you idiot.
5. Because I did 2 number 4s on the preview for this. But you know, the first one never aired, so technically it is number. It is Okay, so hope everybody's doing well tonight. Let me pull this chat up, see if anybody's
fingers and toes,
as always.
Hey-o.
Cool,
my dude.
So tonight's going to be pretty simple. I'm dealing with a terrible neck injury. I can't turn my head. This thing sucks. So I'm gonna just push through this, and we're gonna do the best we can to just.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you're gonna push through it? Like, this is not an exercise where we're asking you to move your head left and right all day. What, you're gonna shake your head?
Sitting.
Your disagreeing muscles bad.
Being conscious hurts right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, it's really bad. But it's all
right.
He
wants to vigorously shake his head no.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't understand how much I'm saying no right now.
John, nod your head left or right if you will sell me your SpiderMan 300 for like $30. Come on, tell me now,
dude. I don't have one.
What?
I don't have a SpiderMan 300. It's on the list. I got to get one.
How do you not have one? Jeremy has one.
I have one.
Yeah. How Emily's in the house? What's up, Emily?
What up?
How'd you get yours, Jeremy? What's the story?
Bought
it off the shelf?
It was a shop. Yeah, well, no, not like way back. It was a shop in Florida that I used to go to that got one in a collection and put it up for sale. But that was like 5, gosh, I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
What was if you don't mind me asking, what was the price on it back then?
Ooh,
no idea.
Oh,
it was somewhere around.
He said, I'm not telling you.
Well, no, I think it was somewhere around 200, but
okay,
plus or minus.
That's great. That's
like
phenomenal.
50 to 100.
Yeah. You got it slabbed or no? It's just chilling?
Nah, it's in a just protective thing, but
yeah. And this is Jeremy Sparks below. Great guy of the comic community, very knowledgeable, especially in the indie market of things. And we have him on tonight because the main topic tonight, if you didn't see the thumbnail, is this are we qualified to call this maybe the dark ages of comic collecting or media? There's a lot of negativity, a lot of negative things going on right now. So it's just something that kind of popped into my head and wonders, like, in 10, 15 years from now, can we look back on this time and say, shit was really, really bad? And that's due to the market drop right now. A lot of oversaturation on Amazing Spider-Man 300. Nice.
I only brought it up.
Is this new? Did this come out today? This week?
This is a brand new comic book. Yeah, look, this is a timeless cover. I'm sure that'll be aped forever for the next fucking 30 years.
Yes.
You know, but for people who are watching, this is Spider-Man 300. It's a very important milestone book, and it's been ripped off 8 million times since it came out in like 1988 or whenever it came out.
Yeah, by the artist himself.
Yeah, definitely by the artist himself.
Oh my god! If I never saw another one of these covers again, those homages, I'd be super happy.
The homages, yeah.
There's gonna be one next week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's one every week, and I remember when I started collecting like 2 years ago, I was kind of like, oh my god, look, I can't believe it. Darkhawk has a homage to Spider-Man 300. Let me get this. I can't miss it. And that's
and that's kind of part of the whole thing that I'm talking about with, is it the Dark Ages? Like, have we really run out of creativity to where we just got to try to reprint money? You know, so that all just plays into it. Real quick, just want to remind you guys, hit the like button for us if you can. Let everybody know we're out here streaming.
Save the clock tower.
Yeah. Shoot a comment down below. All that stuff helps us. We appreciate it. But real quick, before we get into the main topic, I was going to pull up maybe a couple of other hot button news articles. Let's see, what do we got here?
Why do we not have like a sound for the hot button issues? We should have like a
I don't know.
Ding, ding, or he's on fire.
I think well, so that's one of the biggest ones. Was this one right here? Ike Perlmutter was axed, right? One of the 7,000, but he's a big one. He was Yeah, he was the one of the chairmen that was responsible actually for selling Marvel to Disney back in the day. And they recently just got rid of him. And apparently he was responsible for, like, whenever they were going to start Captain America Civil War and start introducing a lot more, like, different characters of ethnicity and gender, this dude was like, nobody wants to go see a female person in the movies. Nobody wants to see a black superhero. This guy was, like, really sounded very toxic for the company. So he's gone.
Wait, let me ask you a question. Okay, listen.
How is
Revision. How is it that long?
How is it that long? I don't know. Contractual agreements. I have no idea.
Let's start an argument here. If you could go back in time and take Disney out of Marvel,
what the fuck is that?
Would you do it? Would you do it? Do we sell our soul to get that first Guardians of the Galaxy movie and a bunch of cool looking big movies, or would you like to go back and let Marvel kind of struggle through and have like good integrity movies?
I don't know if Marvel would have made it.
You want the Disney? Don't. Well, of course not. I mean, they're going to go bankrupt, but I mean, you're not going to kill the fucking superheroes. Somebody would have done something, right?
But could anybody put the money into it that Disney? No, I don't think there's another company that could have put the money into it that Disney has for it to be done right.
But Disney definitely did do something that, like, I'm not all inclusive. That's fine. Be inclusive. That's great. But maybe like also don't be afraid to keep your knives sharp in storytelling. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be like, just to be all inclusive, water down everybody so much so because they have to have feelings for everything that you can't have a good story anymore. You know, I mean, like one of my favorite storylines of the modern era that I actually bought a bunch from Jeremy Sparks is the Mighty Thor with Jane Foster. With Jane Foster. So like that story was amazing and it was painful and she like was dying and it was like extreme and this, that, and the other. And it was done like 10 years ago, Jeremy? 5 years ago, 6 years ago? Something like that?
Not too long. Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that there was a good era around like 2015, I felt like comics were.
Okay, so
it's good stories.
Jason Aaron wrote that story. So that story was great, and I implore everybody to go get Mighty Thor 695 to 705 or something like that. It takes place right in that range, and it was a great story. And then you know what happened? They ruined it, and you know how they ruined it? They called it Thor: Love and Thunder, and they ruined it.
They did. They ruin it.
They kind of sped through it too.
What's that?
Yeah, they went really fast through like Jane's whole story.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And here I am, Mighty Thor. But
they completely did her a disservice. And what sucks is that they threw you a curveball because in the trailer there's literally a shot from Jason Aaron's God of Thunder run, a literal shot for shot recreation. And you're like, oh, they're gonna do it right
on the mountain with
on the mountain with I forget the god that was killed, but giant beast of a god just slain in the background, and that like hyped everybody up. People are like, okay, this is gonna be great. You got Christian Bale, and then fucking Taika Waititi it. It sucks.
And then I don't want to get on this movie obviously, but like I said, it was two things. It was literally Jane Foster's story, but then they just told it from Thor's perspective. It's stupid. Right, and then for God's sakes, man, where in the fuck is Beta Ray Bill? Like, can somebody give me my little horsey guy? I need my little horsey guy. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we just get the Easter egg.
He's a cow.
The head.
Yeah, the head. Mm-hmm. Ragnarok.
The last Thor one, Ragnarok.
He's a Corbinite. There it is. I'm done. See y'all later.
So this overall, again, negative head. Anything firing is, negative headline. But this overall, I really do think is probably for the better, for the, going forward of Disney and Marvel for sure. And then also Victoria Alonso, that whole shtick with her getting fired last week. Apparently now she's suing Disney because she's saying that they didn't have a right to fire her. So it's just like a lot of negative publicity going on right now around Disney, and it just none of it looks good. It's all bad for the brand for sure.
I don't know if she's right or wrong, but sue Disney. Sure, why not? They've got money, Like I don't care if she's right or wrong. Sue them. Who cares?
Yep.
At least for like a lifetime pass, get that.
Right?
and free Disney Plus and pass park tickets, and then we'll settle.
Yeah.
See what you can get.
For sure. And then what else we have in the news? That was kind of the biggest thing that happened this week. But then I ran into this. This is kind of on the upside, and we're gonna do this last, so we'll end with a high note.
Okay.
But I just saw this trailer yesterday for this documentary. I don't know, Jeremy, if you've seen it or heard about it, called Selling Superman. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, go ahead.
You saw it?
Yes. No, I didn't. But we talked about it. But go ahead.
Well, no, it's just we'll do it last. We'll scrub through the trailer and talk about it. But this, long story short, this son inherited a collection from his father, and it's just this massive collection that was basically ripping a family apart because of the abundance of it, and it was just taking up every square inch of the household. So after the father passed a few years ago, the son inherited the collection, and then the whole time they know that there's comics in the boxes, but they don't know the extent of the age and the quality. So they start digging into these boxes, and you're going to see they start pulling out probably one of the greatest collections to resurface in comic history, next to like the Promise collection and the Mile High collection. It's really amazing, and the trailer gets you hyped. I'm talking about like as hyped as you would get for like a movie. This documentary comes out next year. I can't freaking wait for it. So we'll scrub through that, and then also part of this whole Dark Ages, if you want to call it, is the downfall of the market, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. What's in the box? Yeah. We'll talk about that too. But one of their comics that he found from his collection, which is a Detective 27. For those of you who don't know, Rev, if you want to find that one and pull it up. Detective Comics number 27. That is the first appearance of Batman. In a 6.5, I think, or 6.0, sold today on Heritage Auction. And we'll go over what that sold for a little bit later in the show. But
once again, we have Jeremy Sparks in the building.
Yeah, Mr. Jeremy Sparks down below. Jeremy, you want to give everybody, a rundown of just kind of what you do in comics and your YouTube channel and your specialty in the indie market?
Yeah. The channel that I have is You Promised Me Comics, and over there we do interviews with indie comics creators, mostly indie comics creators. We just had Sweeney Boo on last week, and she just took over the art on Harley Quinn.
Cool. That's awesome.
The start.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, that was so much fun. She's super nice, super great to talk to. But a lot of interviews, 1 to 2 a week usually. And hey, John Stout over there, he watches. Also putting out talks about indie comics each week, talking about the best indie comics releasing each week, and running through some of the FOC books for each week, so people know to pre-order those books, because that's one of those things. Indie comics, if your shop doesn't see somebody pulling it or ordering it, they may not stock it at their shop at all. I mean, we all go to the same shop, and there are books that don't show up there because nobody has them on order.
Jeremy Sparks keeps the indie market alive in New Orleans. He single-handedly does it. I mean, there are other people buying the indie books, I know, but like not like this guy down here. He whenever I go there, he's like, so it's like, okay, it's like I shop at Walmart, for my comic books, like the stuff that I get in Jeremy Sparks, like, look what I have here, and I just feel dirty, and I want to go home and like not look at my books, because like I'm buying DC, I'm buying Marvel, and then I walk in there and Jeremy's like, oh yeah, I just picked up this comic book from like filling strange garbly numbers and words here, some sort of like comic book that I've never heard of, and I'm all like, yeah, that's cool. What's the story about? He's like, well, it's like a spider that has free thought, and it drives a spaceship, and it's gonna save the world. And I'm like, and Jeremy's like, the writing is fantastic. And I'm like, what?
It's fun.
But I'm looking through the pile right now. I'm just like, yeah, so much.
Yeah, man.
I actually have some Marvel in DC. Actually, I got 2 DC books this week. That's like an all-time high for the last year.
Nice.
You're totally slumming it, man.
This is the one from last week. That Grand State Punk. Super.
That's what I'm saying. What the fuck is that, man?
Cool book.
Shit up.
I know the shop has copies though, so if you want to grab some. I made them order 10 so I could get the 1 in 10 variant on it, and I had to buy 5 of them to make them do it. But
that is some balling shit right there. This guy says I want the 1 in 10. You look at it. What anyone looking at it looks cool.
Hold on.
And that shop he's talking about, guys, is Crescent City Comics. I don't know if you were present, if anybody was present for the Idris podcast with the girls and
the letter.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. It's very cool. Crescent City Comics in New Orleans, great shop. And yeah, check them out if you are ever in town. But okay, well, yeah, we're gonna get into this indie stuff because I got a lot of questions and want to hear Jeremy's thoughts on
what is an indie book.
But,
what is an indie book, Jeremy?
But look, let's do this first. Term. We're gonna stick to. Let's start off. I want to get y'all's opinions on: is there enough? Because for the longest time, I remember like a month ago, people were starting surveys and polls and like trying to figure out, okay, modern age of comics. You can't just continue calling comics the modern age forever now, right? It started off with the platinum age and then golden and then, so on and so forth. So bronze, copper, modern, but what is now? Some people were saying the pixel age. Some people were saying the variant age. All these things are kind of correct, but if you look at this short segment of say right pre-COVID to now and sum it up, I mean, there's been a lot of some negative things that's been happening overall. And we don't know the extent of this time period right now where it's a down market, kind of a down morale around a lot of people in the comic book community. There's more drama than ever. There's just a bunch of bad shit. So in 20 years, can we look back to 2021 to say 2024, 2025 and say, dude, that was the fucking dark ages, man.
Okay.
That was the dark ages.
Give me 1 second. I want Jeremy, because we're special guests. I want to talk about it. For those who watching it now and then watching it tomorrow and then watching it next week, comic stories are in a great place. There are some great stories going on. There's some of the best. They don't take place in the movies. They take place in the books.
Right.
This is important to tell you. The problem is the secondary market is a motherfucker. You have people out here who don't read stories and are just collecting comics for covers from exclusive artists and are just trading comic covers back and forth. And it's getting in the way of people like, John, Jeremy, and myself, who are John and Jeremy and myself, because John's one of those cover collectors. But
hey, hold on. Hold on. No. Hold on.
Wait. Let me.
No, Kevin is a Kevin is a
He's a conniving motherfucker.
He's a conniving Kevin. He's a collect what you love. Are you not?
Am I what?
Collect what you love.
Yes, but can you look to your right and say the same thing?
What do you mean? Oh. Let's say.
Do all of those boxes spark joy?
What's that?
Do all of those boxes spark joy?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
In one way or another.
Until my wife walks in, I'm like, they're not growing. It's the same amount of boxes, and But
I've been really shoving them into those boxes now.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is like, but before because like there's a bad side to this for sure, and that's the people who are trying to sell money. And but I want people to understand when they watch this, as hundreds of people will in the next 4 or 5 days, is that the stories are good. If you go buy comics to read comics, you're going to enjoy them. The stories are great. The people are great, and the art is amazing. You don't need to get a fucking $20 copy. You don't have to get that. You can get it if you want, if it makes you happy, but I mean, like Jeremy was talking about, get the 1 in 10. That's awesome. It's a goal. He achieved it, but people who are doing secondary market stuff are the ones who are tearing it apart and making it undesirable for people who don't have the money and just want to know what they're supposed to be collecting. If they want to collect,
Absolutely. So my question for you, Jeremy, is, do you think, because when I look and see what's coming out on a weekly basis, even though I don't buy new comics, because again, I just got into this hobby. I'm doing my due diligence and I'm reading the groundwork that's been laid, 20, 30 years ago. So I'm reading the Chris Claremont X-Men run. I'm reading the Frank Miller, Batman Year One, all that stuff, right? And I got to do that first before, because my time is limited. So I am very limited on what I can read. And guess what? For somebody who's new into the comic community and didn't read Spider-Man 300 in the tub like Kevin did, I don't know.
I own it.
When I come out to a comic shop and I see there's 25 new #1 issues being released just this week alone, I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm going to where I know the shit's good because my time is valuable. I was like, so that's, and I think that deters a lot of people from the indie market is because it is so easy to create a comic nowadays because art is created faster. All you need is a fundraiser and friends with some money. And dude, you can print comics out like nothing. So what's your thoughts on just the oversaturation of the new comic book market? And like, do you think a lot of the best stories are just being muddled down by a bunch of crap that's released every single week?
Yeah. So, I mean, first I got to agree with Kevin on just, it is a golden age of comic stories. Right,
Mm-hmm.
like there's such great stories out there, and I think this ties into what you're getting at and asking. But there's a lot of stuff coming out. So
Yeah,
figuring out what each week is the stuff to pick up and actually read and enjoy is hard. There is a lot of stuff out there, and for me, looking at Marvel, DC, some of that stuff feels like I've seen this story before. Over and over and over again, we got to reset the universe and retell the story, and they're always trying to find a new way to tell it, which sometimes they succeed and they do well. Like the stories that are doing really well out there, like SpiderMan's doing pretty well right now.
Last week was good.
Yeah, I haven't been reading Amazing Spider-Man, but I've been really enjoying the Spider-Man title.
Bagley one.
The end of the Spider-Verse, but then we're gonna get an Edge of the Spider-Verse again soon. So I'm not too happy about what's going on there. I don't get it. We already had an Edge recently.
Right. This is the other Edge.
The other, we went to that Edge. We went into the Spider-Verse, and now we're going to the other Edge. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's hard, right? So we have Aftershock that just kind of imploded recently, because part of that, they weren't paying people, they weren't getting the funds from certain things, but they're putting out a lot of titles.
You think some legs were broken?
Hopefully not.
Hey.
we don't need violence. We don't need violence in the community. They need their legs so that they can pay those creators that are still owed.
There's got to be some mafia thing. I hope there's a mafia thing in there somewhere.
Yeah, but there's some publishers that are putting out tons of books, and I have to wonder if all of them are quality versus recently we had on the channel Mark London, the CEO of Mad Cave Studios, and they've got maybe 4 to 5 books ongoing at a time. And in a week maybe there's one that comes out from Mad Cave, and so they're like focusing in on their quality. They're putting only quality stuff out, making sure it's the best that it can be, and that story is going to be good. And there's a couple other publishers that I see do that. AWA is pretty good at that. A Wave Blue World even does fewer, and I know then that they've really, it's something that they really believe in as they're putting it out. And that versus, I like Scout Comics, but they have so much. If you look at the previous, the catalog, I can't even tell what's coming out from them because there's so much in there. And I wonder, is it all the best that it can be, right?
Sure.
So it's harder to sift through all that. And so the market then does potentially get muddled down a little bit of what is worth picking up, what is a story worth investing in and reading and continuing from there.
What's up, Walk? So I guess the question is you can't misfire. Like I said, when you go into the comic book shop, you kind of okay, cool. You walk in, you're like, so you've never been there before. You walk in, you're kind of like, all right, I want to get this book. And if you get this book and this book is terrible, that's a $4 misfire minimum. So you got to think you're getting maybe 5 books for $20 or right around there. That's a lot, man. That's a lot of money for 5 comics. There's one story. And listen, the way that we enjoy media today, we're not again. When I was a youngin, I read the same book over and over and over and over again. But we don't do that now. I read the book, maybe thumb through it twice. And look, bag and board in the box, and the story is absorbed in my brain. And then, like I said, so it's a lot to try and chew up. And if sometimes I've had weeks where I've gotten books. I'm like, what the fuck? I just bought a bunch of paper that I'm never going to look at again. This was terrible. And look, I'm going to throw this on eBay for $1. And so I've lost I've lost $15 in this transaction. It's like, it's weird. So it's like, the stories are great. You kind of have to know where to look, and you kind of like,
right.
So this is actually in podcast 1. I kind of mentioned it. Like it's a blessing to find 2 things. Three things. An artist that you like, a writer that you like, and a character that you like. If you find one of these 3 things, maybe not the character so much, because bad writing will make a character terrible. But when you have like an artist you like, you can follow it. Like, I mean, when I first jumped back into the industry or collecting like 2 years ago, man, Rod Reese, he was doing New Mutants, and Rod Reese was like my jam, dude. I loved his fucking art, So I was reading New Mutants and really enjoying it. The story was good. And I came across Gabby, X-23's little sister, and I liked her a lot. And so then I was able to kind of jumpstart something. So when people tell me, how do I collect? I said, find somebody you like, a character you like. Like, if you're going to go back and hunt for books that you want to collect, I mean, like, they don't need to be expensive. Just find somebody you like and try and, collect as much of them as you can. It can be expensive. We mentioned that last podcast, but.
Oh, yeah.
What's the if you had to tell somebody 3 books right now to pick up in the indie market?
Oof.
Jeremy.
Oh my God.
That's so what do you, with that question, do you mean for great stories or
great stories
investments? Because I think there's different ways to look at that.
No. When I think of the indie market, I don't think of investments at all, because it's like finding a needle in the haystack. Like I said, there's so much out there. It's like, if you're going to go to the indie market, go there to read, go there to just enjoy the amount of stories that's out there, or the quality of whatever you can find. But I would not go there for investments whatsoever. So from just a storytelling standpoint, I mean, what do you think? Are you a James Tynion fan? I know his Blue Book, got that, Something's Killing the Children.
I'm honestly, I think I'm about to drop Blue Book. It is
twice. I've heard this in a week.
Yeah, it's nonfiction. It's not his usual storytelling.
Right.
It's about people that have experienced potential encounters with UFOs.
Right.
How is it nonfiction?
It's based off of true stories.
It's based off of true stories that people have told. Maybe their stories were not true,
based on a true story.
Encounters that they believe that they experienced.
Okay.
And honestly, I kind of enjoyed the first one. It was pretty good. The continuation of the main story in issue 2. I couldn't do it. I didn't finish reading it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm dropping it. But I genuinely do like his writing most of the time. Like Wind is a book I will always recommend.
Oh yeah.
W-Y-N-D.
W-Y. Yep. It's had 3 volumes already. There will be, I believe, a 4th and a 5th, but there's going to be a little bit of a break before those happen.
And Witches, W-Y-T.
God damn it. Jeremy, would you please just say Saga, please, and let me off the hook?
I mean, I feel like Saga and Something's Killing the Children are the ones that people always hear.
Yeah.
At least
because they're fucking great, man. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like, if I'm going, let me see. If I'm going more indie, I guess I'll give one that's still kind of mainstream. It's a Boom Studios book, Grimm. Grimm's been fantastic.
That was great.
Sorry.
Well,
since the beginning.
The first couple of issues were really good. I haven't read since, but that was really, that's good. I liked it.
Yeah, and then let's say Barbaric over at Vault Comics.
I love Barbaric.
So good. Wait, hold on. Where I got this.
hey. So real quick, you guys. Barbaric. John, can you call it up? Oh, what the fuck is that? I want that.
Cool.
Let me be a nerd for a second here. John, can you call up can you get a Barbaric cover up, please? Listen, you guys. Barbaric is awesome. It's about this guy who is cursed with this axe, okay? And the axe is like his sidekick kind of thing. And the axe loves to kill people, but people who are bad. It only wants to kill people who are bad. And the axe gets fucking drunk on blood.
It's the best.
And when the axe starts killing people, it's like, yeah, give me more. And it starts like slurring its words and shit.
So that's what Taika Waititi was trying to do with Stormbreaker and Love and Thunder.
Was there some sort of talking axe? I can't even remember.
No, weren't the axe and the hammer like having a moment together?
Yeah, like the axe floated around and like was basically sentient, and I don't know. It was stupid.
You guys, Barbaric is great. Thank you for mentioning it, Sparks. Yeah, Barbaric is so good.
One of my favorites that's released right now.
And the art is great as well. God,
if you like a barbarian story and like gruesome stuff going on, it's got that. It's got tons of humor.
Lots of it. Look at that axe.
Fantastic fantasy story being told. Magic's involved. Soren, the witch. Oof. Her tattoo swords that come off. Like
her tattoos are weapons. Like she can pull her tattoos off and become weapons. It's a very good. That's a good indie book. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool. Anything else?
Let's see. Let's throw something more indie out there.
Ooh,
man,
more indie.
What's that?
I mean, shoot, like anything. Honestly, I'd say anything from Mad Cave. Like I said, I've been really enjoying their stuff.
What about
Nottingham from them?
Do you like Berserker? I know that's towards the top of the.
You know,
don't lie. Do not lie and say you like Berserker. Don't.
I fell off of it after like 2 or 3 issues.
Same.
I did not.
I got them all because I'm a fucking idiot. Because I thought, like, oh, these are all going to be worth $1 million one day. Keanu Reeves.
Well, just
I was very interested.
Pumps out some movies. I mean, it'll go up. Just hang on.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I've got that
for sale on my eBay page.
I got that 1 per store variant somewhere. So that's the one I'm like holding on to because everything else was overprinted.
Hey, dude, it's crazy. Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like also what I'm talking about, the overprinting of variants. So let's move to the variant side of comics as well. Like even in the indie game, there's a shit ton of variants that you can get, especially for Berserker. That was crazy.
No, especially for something that's killing the children.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, something's killing children.
Talk about. I haven't actually gotten to read this week, but I thought in there that they had a whole list of all the variants from this issue. Maybe
too many, man. Too many.
I knew you were collecting them. Somewhere there was something. I saw someone posted in a group. Oh, there it is. Issue 30's variants.
These are too much.
This is just the store variants.
That's crazy, dude.
That's
the problem. That is the problem right there. Yeah. That is the problem.
You know what I got this week? I got cover A.
There you go. Know what I got? I love cover A's, man. I think cover A, that's if it came down to it and there's 200 variants, I want cover A. You know,
you don't want Slaughter in like some bikini someplace, drawn by David Nakayama. Come on. That's the variant that everybody wants. There you go. That's cool.
I don't need that. I got this. I got my friend Lewis making.
That's cool.
2 weeks ago, we were talking to Idris from Crescent City Comics, and we were talking about the female empowerment and things like that, and the ones with the ladies with the bikinis sell more. What's this noob question? Hold on one second. I want to click this. Let's read this. Noob question. What is the impact to overprinting of variant other than the value drops? Is it because collecting at all the variants is impossible? Yes. And too expensive? Yes. It's impossible.
It is not impossible.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not impossible to collect all the variants. All you need to do is just know that.
Take out a fucking loan, sell your house, sell a kidney.
It's not realistic. It's not realistic.
Be born rich.
Yeah.
Sell so much sperm you don't work. Oh, Jesus Christ! Like that's a lot going on there.
Yeah. So no, that is a great question. Like, what is the byproduct of having all these variants? Like, is it good for the hobby? Is it bad for the hobby? All in all, I hate to say it, but I don't know. Like, I think if you had, I don't like all the variant printings. I hate when there's a cover A and then they make a version of cover A. Can't stand it.
Boom.
But I think all in all, to keep this hobby alive, I think we need it. Unfortunately, we may not like it, but I think the hobby needs it because comic book collecting is evolving, whether you like it or not, whether you want to shame people for collecting any cover or whatever. If that's what they want to do, it's helping keep the hobby alive, and it has to evolve for it to stay alive. Otherwise, nobody is. It's just going to die where it stands. You know.
Do you think that that keeps certain publishers alive, or do you think that's helping the market across the board?
Ooh, I think hard questions.
I think you can keep publishers alive, right? Because people are ordering 5 copies to get the 1 in 10 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they're ordering more copies of the book.
I guess more so the store exclusives versus the ratios, because I think the ratios benefit across the board, because there is that, like, maybe the store was going to do 40, but then there's this 1 in 50 and someone's requesting it, and so they'll make that push.
Let's assume that the people who are listening or watching don't know what that means. Let me explain it real quick. And this is some crazy fucking math here, okay? And Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, and John, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, suppose let's be generic here. Let's say Batman, okay? There's one cover A, okay? Now, there's something called the 1 in 10 ratio, where the comic book shop has to buy 10 of that book to get the one comic that has a different cover, okay? And there's the 1 in 25s and the 1 in 50s, 75s, and 100. I think it basically goes like that. Could you imagine having to buy 100 fucking Batman books that may or may not sell for your 1 in 100 comic? And then what they do is they've now bought 100 of this Batman that may or may not sell for this one book that they're going to sell for, I don't know, $100. There you go. You're flexing right there. You're flexing right there. Just so you know. John, you're flexing. That's flexing. So like, that's crazy. So like, who is it helping? Okay, so let's break it down. The artist is getting paid a contract on the art. Yeah. So it doesn't matter how much they sell. All right. So it's like when Walmart buys like a bunch of Garth Brooks's records, it's instantly platinum, and now Walmart has to sell them. So Marvel or DC or whoever's putting these books out, they're the ones making the money. So the publishers make the money, and then it's incumbent for the comic book people to move their stock. They have to like all of a sudden say like, oh well, fuck, we got 10 Batman books. You can't discount them because the price is on the damn book. It says $3.99. You're not going to move the margins there. So what happens? You have landfills of fucking Batman books because there's 10 for the 1 in 100, or you have storage containers galore with all these books. So do you play the variant game? I wouldn't. If I were a comic book shop, I'd be like, fuck no, man. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have somebody standing on the side of the road waving a sign, come to buy some comics, but I'm not going to get 1 in 100s.
No, if I was a comic shop, I wouldn't do it either.
It's like, for the most part, I feel like our shop is pretty good on it in terms of, unless it's really close, they're not pushing to hit that next level. It's, hey, we ordered 10 of them, so we got one of the 1 in 10s. Great.
Right.
There was demand for 20 of them. We gotta maybe we'll push for 1 in 25 on this one, but if it's like a unknown book or indie book, typically they aren't going to make that push because there's not as much demand.
Yeah. So to get back to what the show was about, was the fact that, like, take it away, John. What's killing? Is this bad? Like the Netflix shows, the Disney shows, is it killing the industry for us?
Is it bad for the industry? It's certainly discouraging. It can be off-putting depending on how long you've been into the game and what your exposure is when you walk into a comic shop. If you are somebody who looks at a menu and sees that there's 200 items on the list and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to fucking McDonald's. It's easier that way. If you're that kind of person, collector, like, it might deter you from the hobby. But I think overall, like I was saying, if you had to break it down, is it good or is it bad for the hobby? In general, I think it's good for the hobby. It may not be good for the LCS, who, whether or not they make a good or a bad decision to purchase X amount of books. But to keep people interested, they have to be attracted to different attributes of the hobby, whether it's collecting covers, whether it's storylines, whether it's investments, whatever. You need all those things to work. To keep people interested. And I think, even though I don't like all the covers being printed, I think overall, I think it might be a good thing, even though it is annoying. And you have to respect it. John Stout says, I truly like the variants. Normally half the books I buy are variants. I also buy store variants every once in a while. I only buy variant ratios on eBay. Yeah.
Whatever makes you happy. Absolutely. Yeah. Whatever makes you happy.
Well, that's what I think the other side of it all is there are people that are going to purchase things because they love the art on the cover.
Yeah.
There are people who will never even touch the inside of a comic book because
Sure.
That's
and
what they
again,
like the
whatever
cover
makes
art.
you happy, you know. I mean,
And yeah. So I think that it's necessary from that side of things. Do I think, what do we got here? Like 20 shops? I don't know, 10, 15 variants on one thing is necessary. Might be a little overkill.
Yeah.
Because I think that also then there's those people that want to stay on top. They're like, this is my favorite book. I want to get those covers. I want to collect them all. I also want to go buy these other books that are out there and, read and support different artists and writers and creators and publishers.
Yeah.
And they may be limited then because like they've put themselves all in on this one thing.
Yeah. And honestly, for me, it's like when you see a ton of really good covers, it's almost like off-putting to the fact of like when there was lesser covers and you had like 3 okay artists and then one banger of a cover, you're like, okay, that's the one. Like I got to find that book. I want to get that book. And to me, that's fun. When you have 20 amazing freaking covers for $5, I'm just like
$5.
Yeah, I mean, look, not all of these are. It depends on the distributor and all that, but.
Well, that's the other thing is sometimes they overdo like the B and C and D covers like on Marvel and DC, where it's like you got 20 books that are like the cover price.
Yeah.
And then you have the ratios and then you have the source.
Exactly. Right. So yeah. And it's like all that, it's like it kind of, for me, it takes a little bit of the fun, like I said, out of the hobby because there's a lot of really good stuff. So now it's like for me to really go out and buy a ratio variant or a cover G, it's really got to strike me, in a certain way for sure.
I think the fact what you guys are missing is that none of us are going to be able to go gamble with John Stout. John Stout's going to win every time. my man. So look, he's yes, and all of us are right. All of us are whatever. What it is like, honestly, collect what you want. If you've got the money to spend, then spend what you want. And like I said, obviously it's just conjecture. We're having a good time. What John is saying, and I'm reading his quote right here. Let's just put it back up so we can talk about it for a second because it's interesting. Because like this makes him happy. And that's fine. And you know what? The thing is, like the eBay thing hits home with me because like I go to the comic book shop and I buy modern, okay? But if I see something online, either on eBay or whatnot or things like that, I'll get that too. I'm not like no variants. I like variants. It's like, but I mean, I don't know the long game for them. I'm not out. I guess I have a problem with people who are buying like a lot of variants and like peddling them to people who don't know what's going on. Maybe that's a problem, but I mean, like, no, look, you'll catch me. You put Mr. Sinister on a cover. You got me, It could be Mr. Sinister kills the Archie universe and I'm going to buy it. Well, I'll definitely buy that. Actually, I would definitely buy that. But you could put him on anything weird and I'll usually pick it up because I like Mr. Sinister covers. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a good story. Same thing with Magic or Gabby or X-23. I usually pick them up. So if it makes you happy, by all means, like get what makes you happy for sure. Oh, yeah. So I mean, and that's great if you can do that. That's like more power to you. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you what my birthday is, John, and you can send a present on over. But but like I said, is it good long term? I don't know, man. It's just a lot of paper being pushed on the comic book shops, and they're gonna stop carrying them, and then like. We did this thing during COVID where we're speculating on movies and like, oh, go get this book because fucking this guy's.
But dude, that's been going on before COVID. Speculation was going on. That's why you had people flooding in 1992 to buy Death of Superman and all the variants that came out on that. There's 5 printings of that.
Well, I mean, with COVID is like
the good 90s,
the good old 90s.
The comic. Listen, you said it, and I agree with you. And maybe maybe Jeremy will agree as well. Is that like the comic collecting has definitely shot up in the last 2 years, but now potentially it's plateauing and maybe going.
Yeah, it's crashing.
Yeah. But it's not because the stories are bad. It's not because the stories are bad. It's because what's happening around it all.
Sure. I think. I think with COVID, people were sitting at home. They had more time on their hands, and so they were looking into things more. Maybe, and that's where the speculating grew.
Sure.
Because you had time to look into these things, maybe listen to all these rumors about what was going to happen in the MCU and spend time researching.
Absolutely. With COVID, it was a great 1 year run of COVID for comics and speculation and all that in the market.
It was fun.
Unfortunately,
It was fun.
It was fun. And unfortunately, it was a perfect storm for just a huge downfall. Like, it was just because you had, like how you said, Jeremy, you've got people just sitting in their house with extra cash and extra time. And then not only that, but you had phase, what was it, 4? Phase 3. Phase 3 of the MCU just ended with Avengers Endgame, right? Kevin Feige just put the perfect ribbon on a perfect saga of superhero movies, and now we're about to start it all over again, bringing new characters, and people were hyped as fuck. You had WandaVision coming out, and you had people like this. Dude, you saw what this did? The sky's the limit. Like, you know.
Can't stop, man. It just admits you've been to the gym and you're just showing off.
I talk with my hands.
Who
I can't
talks
move
like
my head.
that?
So basically, you've got basically everybody's living this pipe dream of, I'm gonna get the book that's going to, you know, it was basically the 90s all over again is pretty much what happened. You know, everything was pumped up. So that, and then now you've just got this major correction, and I think it's almost, if you look at some of the numbers, dude, I mean, that you got 70% drops in some of the books in the marketplace right now, and it's scary. And one of them today, we were gonna go over later if we even get to it. It's fucking Spider-Man. First appearance of Spider-Man dropped, I think, over 50% or something like that. It's crazy.
Amazing Fantasy 15. Did I get it right?
Yeah. And those books set the precedent for the market. Like, those really do. Those big time books. You can't look at, you know, these books that we flip and buy and speculate on. That doesn't set the precedent of the market. It does to an extent, but the real health of the market lies within the major blue chip keys. And a lot of those went down today. And honestly, overall, it does not look good.
Well, and I was going to say, so if we're talking about COVID, you had the stimulus checks. You had people with a little bit of extra cash that they weren't needing. That went into the comic market with a lot of people.
Good call.
Shot prices up for a while. And then that all kind of, it did seem to plateau for a while. And then now we're into recession.
Yeah.
And people don't have the money. Don't have that extra cash, tighten the wallet, saving more. And so nobody's spending money on those big high purchase items. And so, I'm not surprised to see the market kind of correcting. It seems like it's correcting. I feel like we hit really high prices on a lot of those things for a while that shouldn't have gone that high.
No,
like they should have gone up maybe a little bit, but not that high.
No.
And even like say on the indie side, like Something's Killing Children #1, like that went stupid high, over $1,000 at one point. And it's come back down. And then we got recent news, right?
Yep.
And so it shot back up a little bit, but it hasn't gone as high as it went before.
Sure. The Last of Us, if The Last of Us was happening in COVID, The Last of Us would be a fucking $3,500 9.8 right now.
Oh yeah.
You know,
what? Probably. Hey,
and the things that were warranted are correcting. The things that shouldn't have been up there in the first place are crashing. You know, but the things that were actually warranted, some actually good, valuable keys, they're definitely coming back down to earth. But overall, what sucks is that this type of volatility in the comic market is just not good overall for the comic collecting community, for people that do it for the investment standpoint, because it just shows you, hey, look how much books were selling for. So somebody in 2 years, when they look back, a book was selling for in 2021 for this price, and then a year later it was down 70%. That's not a good look for any hobby. You know, no matter what happened, it will deter people.
Yeah, especially that. I mean, that would stop people from coming into comic collecting from that just financial standpoint and trying to make money on it.
Exactly.
I feel like some of that's good because it's bringing money into the comic collecting market. So people that are just trying to sell off their old stuff to buy new stuff, it's great for them to have new money coming in. But also there's this people then that come in and then they try to like manipulate things and jack prices up. And from that side, not too...
I think a lot of people were doing that during COVID too. Another thing, you know.
I'm not trying to influence anybody, but possibly read Saga by Image Comics.
Yeah.
Up there. So.
Yeah. No, I mean, It's fantastic.
What's let's see, Citizen Jamie, our buddy in the movie biz. You think digital comic readers are hurting the market like Hoopla?
You guy.
Well,
absolutely not.
No.
No. Well, okay. All right. So, okay. It's like the whole idea with like Napster back in the day. Okay. Let's look at it this way. Holy shit. There's Matt Johnson. All right, Matt Johnson. There it is. First of all, real quick, Matt Johnson. I know him IRL. And I said I'd call him out or shout out his name. Here it is. Matt Johnson from Denver, Colorado. What's up, my brother? There. Yeah. All right, cool. So as long as you're bringing awareness to stuff, I don't think it's hurting. I mean, like okay, so I read digital comics. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to spend fucking $5,000 on all these books. I'm going to read them online and I can get the story. And if I want to buy a book, I'll buy a book. I mean, I do spend money on comics. It's not a problem, but I'm not going to spend $1,000 just to catch up. So, I mean, I read it online. I read a ton of shit online. I'm unapologetic to it. I'll tell anybody.
Places like Hoopla and Libby require you to have a library card to check out the books. So just like going to your library and checking out comics. But I believe actually through Hoopla, at least, maybe Libby too, there is some amount of money that goes to the creators.
Okay. That's good.
So that is excellent. I mean, that any digital comics platform that sends money to the creators is fantastic.
100%.
Free ones like Hoopla. There's paid ones like, of course, Comixology's out there, Global Comics. There's been some new ones that were just announced. I think one was called Omnibus, and Vault Comics is saying that like their comic platform is going to be Omnibus, is where they're putting all their stuff. I think Boom and Image might have said they're going to be over there too. So
I have Marvel Unlimited and I fucking love it, man. And now instead of dropping Amazing Spider-Man 300 in the tub, I drop my tablet in the tub where I'm watching. But
and then you get a nice shock.
But you guys are
coming out of the pages.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
The thing is, the Marvel one is like 28,000 comics. Right now they have 28,000 comics. $10 a month, yo. What the fuck?
It's crazy.
Of course I'm gonna go that route.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Absolutely.
And
Why wouldn't I?
Their thing, access to so many things for a cheap price. Definitely. Like I got Comixology through my Amazon Prime, right? So I really don't use it, but I should, because there's so much on there that I could be reading right now.
Because you're gonna need a storage container pretty soon. Look behind you right now. You know, look at all
that's
that
just like that's some of that's con prep. Headed to MegaCon this weekend, so.
You're going to MegaCon this weekend?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm flying out tomorrow night, and they'll be.
Damn! Look at this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got a press pass?
No, they hate me, but I do have an artist alley
I saw
badge.
Jeremy at Fan Expo in New Orleans, and I'm like, "What's up, buddy?" And he's like,
"Don't talk to me."
He's got his press pass thing. He's like, "Yeah, I got a press pass." I'm like, "It says, it's a free entry, just for having social media accounts with X amount of number of followers." I'm like, "Ooh, motherfucker here!" I was like, "Dude," I was like, "I wish I had no idea." I was sitting here. There you go. Yeah. I'm sitting here paying full price for everything, not even realizing I could just apply for one. So what, is MegaCon a little bit more difficult to get one, or what?
I have one too.
There you go. That looks just
can I get
like
in?
You.
It's probably harder. It's a bigger con, but like I met their qualifications for what they were asking, and they
5'6", 180.
And I told them, "You all suck, and here's why you're wrong." And never heard anything back from them. But a writer that I know got me an artist alley badge. So
okay.
So now not only do I get to come in, but I get to come in early.
Nice.
So I think that's better. I paid, but like whatever.
Yeah.
I was always my backup plan was to pay to go anyways.
Anything you got your eye on out there?
Nah, not really.
In particular, just go and check it out.
Yeah, like I'm gonna hang out with the Sumerian Comics people for a little while.
Where is it anyway? Where is it at? Orlando.
Yeah.
Little landlocked Orlando.
You gonna visit Disney while you're out there?
Nah, I'm flying Friday and then I'm leaving Sunday night from there. So just the con is all I got.
Cool.
Yeah, but yeah, just mainly it's a bunch of creators that I know or have talked to on our channel. Gotten to talk with a bunch that are going to be there. So I'm like, I gotta go.
When let me ask you this: when's Jeremy Sparks going to do a comic?
It's in the works.
Nice.
I like it.
I have a second draft done, and I have an editor that will be working with me probably starting next week. I got potential artists lined up, maybe. So as far as I can say.
Let me know.
Look at that, Adam Hughes
Let
right
me know.
there.
I got art too. You know?
I need that Reverend Wormwood. Variant.
Got it, bro. Right here. I can probably do a few. I can probably do a few variants for you. You know,
it's cover L, right there.
I'll pay you with a comic. No.
Yeah.
So look, real quick, because we need to do two things before we get the fuck on out of here. You guys in the chat, what you don't know is Jeremy Sparks has a fucking holy grail of all holy grails that he got recently. And it doesn't matter if it goes down to $1, if it shoots up to $50,000. He's never going to part with it. You know where it is. Go ahead. Flaunt it, man. Pull out your fucking wrestling belt. Where's it at? Let's see it.
Wrestling belt?
Yeah, like your fucking badge of like the GSX-1. Let's see it.
Oh,
you got Giant Size X1?
Yes, he
does. Where it is.
Get the fuck out.
My room is such a mess right now. I literally do not know where it is.
How do you not know where that is?
It's like underneath. It's underneath like a candy bar somewhere, or
You know, it's around.
So I mean, I know where my grails are. I mean, like, you know, Wolverine with the lecherous eyes looking at naked Wolverine. I know where that is at all times. You know.
It's not in that pile.
Don't worry. Look, hey, don't feel pressured.
Don't go digging.
Don't let Kevin pressure you.
Yeah, don't go digging for the fucking Giant Size X-Men #1.
It's not in a digging spot. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this guy's just got that book hiding.
Kevin, I have a prediction. I'm gonna have one of those before the year's out.
Asshole, you already have it somewhere. What are you
doing? What are you talking about? I don't have a GSX.
Yeah, like make a prediction. It's probably in a box behind you. Like, I'm gonna make a prediction.
It is not.
I'm gonna make a prediction that by the end of this week, I may or may not have an Excalibur #1. I'm just gonna make a prediction. You know, no, don't go ooh. It's like a $3 book. I just wanted it, so I got it. Yeah, that's what I went.
Nice. Those are cool. I like that. Nice.
Okay. Yeah, those are cool. Good eye. Hey.
Oh, there it is. One day I'll have one.
Take it to tub.
This is my Spidey.
There you go.
Collection.
Signed by Mike Zack.
Yeah. And then my oldest Spidey.
Yeah, 316. Nice.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got the 316 there, and then I've got.
Dude, newsstand too. So
yeah, it doesn't have the tattoos though.
Okay, gotcha. So I see you do have graded books behind you. What's stopping you from getting those books you just saw graded?
I've never even wanted to.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because he's not going to sell them. So he just put them in Gator guards or whatever like that, and he's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, all of these, I think all of these I bought already graded that are back here.
Ooh,
okay.
See, we don't have time to get into talking about people who buy graded books. See,
I don't buy graded books.
I don't buy graded books.
I
get nothing wrong. I just don't.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
some of
these. Actually, it's funny. These are all indie books back here that are graded.
Yeah.
Oh, I knock things over. But like Scout Comics did a 50% off sale on their website, and this was on there.
Nice.
I was like, all right, I'll take 50% off. Like,
yeah, that's a good deal.
Oh yeah.
For me, like sending stuff in for grading is actually, I don't know. I don't like it. I've had so many issues with sending stuff in.
Really?
I dropped stuff off at Baltimore Comic Con last year. CGC damaged the books.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, at this point, I want them to just give me my money back. And they're like, send it in and do this.
You know who I am.
I've had so many issues with trying to get it sent back to them.
Yeah.
That at this point, I'm like I don't trust you guys to not mess them up more.
Well, it's risky. Yeah. That's why you got to put that dollar value amount whenever you.
Right, and they won't do anything. I'm just like, just give me my money back. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But and then you got CBCS that takes forever.
Yeah. That'll open up a whole can of worms of.
Yeah, I know. But that's why I'm like, for me, unless it's something super special that I want.
Sure.
Encapsulated and kept for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't sell a lot of graded books.
Yeah.
I
what
barely
do you sell? Like, what do you sell to try to help fund the hobby?
Honestly, it's just whatever I don't want in my collection anymore.
Okay.
So I've had a lot of Marvel stuff that I've been getting rid of on like Whatnot sales, and then now I've been trying to go through the indie stuff and really like see what do I need to keep, what do I not want to keep, and just put like runs together and put them out there for people to go check out a cool story and pick it up for cheap. Like,
cool.
That's the goal. And then get a little bit of money back, put it back into buying the weekly comics.
Buying more comics.
Like my last sale, I literally did my last sale so I could raise money so I could pay for an editor for creating a comic. So now I'm trying to use the money to create and to buy.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
It's a mix of everything now.
Yep, that's the way to do it right there. That's how you do it.
All right, look, John, I got to tell you something. What? So it's 8:34 today, our time. But I need you. Look, we can do this next week as well. But I need you the trailer. I want you to tell everybody about it because I know the end has happened and we can take everybody home. We can like give them what they want. Bring us there. Bring us there.
Yeah. So
tell a good story.
What I ran across yesterday was basically a trailer for a documentary that's coming out early next year called Selling Superman. And so basically probably the best way to do this, I'm just going to play some of the trailer and we'll stop it and maybe kind of talk about it. But this is really cool. I know Jeremy does have some stuff he's got to get to. So Jeremy, if you need to peace out at any point, don't
stick around for this.
Yeah, okay. Stick around. Everybody stick around. We're going to watch the trailer together. It's like a 4-minute trailer. We'll watch for like a minute or two and take a pause and talk.
So yeah, we'll check this out. Let me make sure all this is playing on my screen. Hold on.
I'm excited.
Hang tight. So yeah, so hopefully, this should be dropping. And I think they have a Kickstarter, but I guess they've already raised all the money. Actually, they don't need to raise money. They have millions upon millions of dollars in comic books. So they really don't need to raise money. But let's see. Here we go. Pop this up. All right. Let's see. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
Can you expand it?
Go full screen. I do not hear it.
You have to crank up the volume, I think.
Yeah. Or
is it you can't hear it?
No, not really. You can hear it's there, but you can't hear it, you know.
All right, hang tight.
It's called prep, John. How dare you?
I can't prep for something live. I don't know. Let's see.
Is it sharing the audio from it?
It's sharing the whole window. Yeah. Let me see. Hold on.
This is where you say like, okay, this is what's going on with it.
It was a play-by-play. What did she say there?
It's based. We'll get to it. Hold on.
They look British. Are they British?
No, they're not British.
Okay, she looks
very racist of you to assume that, Kevin.
She looks British.
What does a British person look like?
She's like, me son had found a collection of comics.
It looks like I feel like it's more like the background.
It's just dreary, you know.
Let's see. Tell me if it works better now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Might be loud.
My father got the first solo issue of Superman from 1939. It was locked away for decades. He found out that was the second nicest copy of that book on the planet. That book could easily go for $3 to $4 million. I inherited over 1 million collectibles.
What's that box value then?
80 to 90,000. Just right here. My father had Asperger's, but not knowing it caused a lot of friction. It seems like ultimate fixation and hoarding. He kept collecting and needed more space and more space and more space.
You have no idea how oppressive he can be.
He was constantly neurotic about the security of the collection. We have each of them humidity controlled, climate controlled, multiple layers of security. He would have thought that was cool.
I'm sure his father loved him, but I don't know if Darren truly felt it. Nothing Darren did was ever good enough.
He made life livable, but not worth living. I divorced. I said, I don't want any part of them.
If I wasn't around, there would be a big dumpster outside, and she would just own it.
So,
what
is that? Dude, isn't that intense though? Like
one box. Yeah, I just got like 80, 90,000 here. Whatever.
Yeah, dude, this is crazy. And like just how they basically whoever he got to direct this and film this and put this trailer together is just really good. Like I was watching this and I was getting like really, really hyped up to see this. So yeah, Kevin, I don't know. What do you think so far?
No, fuck it. I thought we could talk, but hit play. Let's go.
Actually, she'd recycle. We have no idea what's in that box.
Oh, wow. I need that.
Okay.
Yeah, I need that too.
So, where do we go from here? That's the question, right?
Comics are super valuable and they're booming. Why? Hollywood.
We're just still seeing the rise of the comics.
Who would pay this much money for such a book? It's fascinating.
I'd sell it. You want to give me $3.5 million for that comic? Bye-bye.
There is a little bit of responsibility to make sure some of this stuff is preserved. This stuff survived world wars, depressions, cultural differences, racial realizations, women's rights. Everything is reflected in these stories. I want to work with people that want to be involved in sharing it. It'd be amazing to have some of these key books end up with like the biggest fan of Superman or the biggest fan of Batman. How do we find those people?
Okay, real quick. John, sell or keep?
Sell some of it, keep a lot of it. I mean, I would just keep it until I would just release it as I needed money. You know?
I mean, quit your job and just sell things as you need to.
Dude, I mean, like they haven't even gotten to the extent of what it is, but basically, I mean, so you're familiar with Ghost Rider #1, right? That book in like a 9.6 is something in the probably $1,400 range. The dude's got a wad of them that have never even been opened up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he needs money, he can just go sell a book. Like, it's crazy. And if you sign up for their newsletter, they're actually going to they're just giving books away. So if you go to sellingsuperman.com, they're just like giving books, certain books away. Obviously, nothing too crazy, I'm sure. But you might be able to snag you a Grail at some point. Fingers toes, what if you just had the one Superman comic, sell or keep?
Sell it right now. Be done with it. Take a picture of you holding it. Take a picture of you holding it. Go buy a copy for $1 someplace of like the
reprint
facsimile, and be done. I would buy a facsimile, spend $1,000 putting it in a ridiculous gold bound thing, and then sell that one for $3 to $4 million, and I am done.
Yeah,
I'm done. The
comic, Jeremy.
I'm paying off my loans. I'm retiring.
Yeah.
I'm getting gold teeth. Fuck it, man.
No, I mean, shoot. I mean, if I had that kind of money off of a comic,
right,
one book,
I'm not working anymore.
No, hit play.
I'm investing it more wisely, and and
yeah,
it's gonna take some time off.
Could clearly
literally do more comic things.
Yeah.
Wow. Huge thing.
Well, what if we pick him up in blindfold?
Excuse me.
If I say something offensive, it will be cut out, right?
It'll be very interesting, the kind of people that we deal with and what their intentions are for acquiring some of these collectibles.
One of my buddies came by, he saw the books in the hatchback, and he's like, oh, hatchback comics.
Kid and the dad, I guess. I'm the hatchback dad.
The stuff in here is worthy of being in a safe like this.
What? Are you kidding me? Amazing Spider-Man 101, 9.8.
There's 4 copies of it there.
You need a new safe. This is unbelievable.
Each one of those books are somebody's holy grail.
I did almost cry, not gonna lie.
I never got to look at one of those while he was alive, and I really wanted to. You'll remember this moment probably for the rest of your lives. Father and son. We wanted to create a family experience, how it should have been. We didn't know we had these two until you just witnessed it.
Having that excuse to get back together and go on a treasure hunt. What an amazing gift that is.
I wish my dad was here to see it.
Speak.
It's not about the actual book, it's about what it means.
What do you do? Would you sell it?
It's the top of the mountain. I couldn't see ever letting go of something like that.
I just don't want to let my father down. With this collection, we're coming out.
I wouldn't sell it.
I would probably sell it.
You just can't.
What does that mean?
So the sad thing really about this is that the dude was never allowed to touch any of these comics while they were in his presence, and they literally tore his family apart. And the father, unfortunately, was getting kind of ridiculed. They're like, "You're hoarding all this shit. You're breaking up our family," you know. And then, unfortunately, now that he's gone, they see what he was doing. And it's just really sad. Like, not in this, but in another interview, he said basically the saddest part was when he realized the Superman 1 that he went and got graded and came out to be at 8.0. It was like the second highest graded copy in the world. The dude just lost it, started crying because, you know, his dad wasn't there to experience that with him, because
his dad valued the book over him. Why was he crying? I mean,
well, I think it was both. It was both. You know, it was
Yeah.
both. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to say the dad valued the book over him. We don't know what the hell's going on there.
Go watch the movie.
But
well, I mean, they did say he had Asperger's, and
he did, right?
So there was some of that, like that was part of the obsessive piece of collecting, and
sure, yeah.
And
I mean,
didn't know that.
Yeah, which is sad, man. That's just an unfortunate, byproduct of his condition. But thankfully for that family, they are going to be living well forever and ever.
Or do they? Let's see. Hit play.
Well, we're not going to find out.
I guess that's what we're going to find out in this journey.
See, we're going to find out.
Not in the trailer.
That's all we had left. Jesus.
That was it. That's why I stopped it. You wanted to see the ending, so I gave it to you.
Okay.
So yeah, but I think it's this is something that I just thought was really cool to see, and was kind of definitely on a positive note. There was a lot more to also talk about with the whole Dark Ages of Comics, which was getting into the streaming aspect and MCU and completely falling apart with Disney and all that stuff. But I'm happy we kept it localized to just the indie stuff with Jeremy, because I feel like maybe that just needs to be more spotlighted than anything. Everybody can read the articles online and know all the negative shit that's going on. But really appreciate what.
Okay, before we go, yes, you definitely need to sing Jeremy's praises because he's a badass. And you guys do need to go to his Instagram. How do I... Can you say it out loud so we can go ahead and type it in? John, you want to type it real quick? Can you type it?
Sparks Comics.
Let me see.
Go find Sparks.
Yeah, my Instagram is Sparks Comics, like I got down there.
Yeah.
And then You Promised Me Comics is the channel Instagram.
Yeah, you gotta watch that. But John, real quick, while you're doing that, you said that and I don't want to steal your thunder, but like, is there some sort of conclusion to that documentary a little bit that we can possibly go over real quick before we get out of here?
Do y'all have time? If not, we can just because I'm gonna do my market report for the YouTube channel tomorrow, which will cover all the auctions that ended today and some eBay stuff. But yeah, if you want, we can check it out. So basically,
real quick.
Basically, one of the books that ended today was a Batman #1
from that collection, from the documentary.
From that collection. And this thing ended at, here it is right here, this gorgeous thing here, in an 8.0, dude. It is insane. So it sold for $1,100. That's with a buyer's premium. So for those of you that don't know, Heritage Auction.
You're missing some zeros there, buddy.
1.1. What did I say?
1,000.
1.1. I said 1,000. Oh, well, yeah. They got a great deal.
I'll go get some real quick.
I mean, yeah, shoot. I'm like, get me one for that.
Yeah, I'll take two.
I'm waiting for this big payoff, and you're like $1,000.
Dr. Evil. No, 1.1 million, and which is about $300,000 less than its last sale. So
$300,000 less. One house less. So yeah,
one house less. Which is kind of makes sense. I mean, if you just look at everything as a whole, how it's dropping down a little bit, it's not unheard of. That makes perfect sense. Nothing.
Jesus, you could have just waited.
Yeah, but I really want to see the Superman. That's gonna be crazy. And then the other one that I was gonna go into more detail in my market report video when I do that tomorrow is the Detect 27 first appearance of Batman. Yeah. That thing, the last time that sold it sold for $700,000. It just sold for $1.7 million. crazy,
man. And so his collection, that collection for that documentary is not $3 to $4 million. It is a lot more money.
Oh yeah, no, that's not his collection.
Comic.
That's not his comic. But
I'm saying, I'm still thinking he's got
yeah.
those books. That's way. I mean, I was thinking the same thing as Fingers and Toes. I was like, oh, it's like $3 or $4 million. Fuck no.
He's got multiple Fantastic Four #1s.
I think that was just one comic. That was $3 to $4 million.
Yeah.
That's what they're
Superman.
Yeah. Because I mean, you got some of that stuff was just like you pick up a bin and you've got $100,000 in your hands.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then the quality of the stuff that they're finding is just crazy as well.
But it tore the family apart, and the father and the son never connected because I'm telling you, there's drama.
It's bringing them back together. Not the father, because
he's dead.
But everybody else is coming closer together.
Yeah, it was the sacrifice that he made.
God.
Yeah.
But pretty crazy story. But yeah, we'll end it here and we'll wrap it up. Make sure you check out Jeremy Sparks at Sparks Comics on Instagram and at I Promise You Comics on YouTube.
Very much. Yeah, check him out. Great guy, great stuff, great insight, great books. Yeah. And he's going to have his own book pretty soon here, which is really cool. So I have to have him back on to talk about that whole process and things like that. Very intelligent on comics. If you have questions on comics, please go to him. If you want wrong answers, go to me. And if you want the smart buyer's choice, go to John at Paper Chase Comics.
Comics.
Yeah. Comics. Hey, look, after your day today, I'm good, dude.
Look, I'm dealing with a lot.
I'm good.
I'm dealing with a lot of pain right now, so fuck off. But that's gonna do it for us. Don't forget, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Y'all know
Into the Void.
Thanks for having me on,
Into the Void.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Anytime, brother. Anytime you want to come by, just let us know. So, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you on the next one.
Tell your friends about us. Come check us out. Like and subscribe. Later.